African Life Plus TV show. Thank you so much. Welcome to this wonderful moment of the show. I am your host, Nopanjo Magre, and we'll still be talking on the topic relationship between orphans and caregivers. Today we are going to be focused on does the attitude shown by caregivers on the orphan affect their lifestyle? So we hope you're going to have a wonderful moment with us here. And with me, I have a very, very important guest, a very, very important somebody. We have the delegate of JERC. So, Mr. Delegate, please, can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Thank you very much, Margaret. Here you have Mr. Bisson Patrick, the original delegate of Emerging and Republican Youth of Cameroon, the Southwest region. I'm very happy to be your guest on this platform. Emerging and Republican Youth of Cameroon is an organization which was created by Madam Katimeba, who is the founding president. This organization aims at uniting the youth and make sure that they act as proposals to the Republican institution of the state, and also to make sure promote national unity and regional integration. Notwithstanding, the organization also aims at promoting youths with talent to make sure that they become self-reliant, not only to depend on the government, to make sure they can provide something for themselves, create jobs, and also to employ themselves. So that's the purpose and the raison d'etre behind the said organization, which I am coordinating in the Southwest region.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Delegate, for that introduction. So we'll be going on a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking on our topic. Thank you. Welcome back to the show. You are still at African Life Plus TV show. Okay, so Mr. Delegate, we're going back to you. So we want to know your take on does the attitudes and behavior of caregivers shown to orphans affect those children's lifestyle? Want to know what you think about it.
All right, Margaret, thank you very much for this wonderful question. Coming to this question you just asked, I will tell you the activities of caregivers have both negative and positive impact on orphans.
Okay.
Firstly, we have orphans who are in orphanage, while some of them think they have been abandoned normally because they don't have parents or they don't have relatives or whatsoever who come and visit them. But actually, when a good Samaritans or caregivers show up some concern to them, they give them some sense of belonging. They now think they are not relegated in the society, they now belong to the society, and as well, they don't feel as being inferior. Because normally when you see most of the caregivers go to the orphanage, they sing, dance, eat together with them. This is to bring them, make them feel more of home, and make them feel like they are not parentless or they're like fatherless or motherless, you understand? Yeah, they should also feel that normally they are children of everybody. And once this is being done to them, we realize that the orphans will live happily. They will not have anything to think about nor to worry about the absence of their mother or their father.
Okay, Mr. Delegate, if I got to you correctly, you spoke on the fact that these attitudes have both positive and negative impact on the life of these children. So, from getting what you're saying, you've been talking of the positive impact of the characters, like when they show them love, when they go, they visit them, as in make them feel at home. So those are the positive impact of the attitude of caregivers to these children. So what are the negative impact that these attitudes have on these children?
Okay, come to think of it, we look at the negative perspective, it has so much to do with stigmatization. You know, some of these students, children who are in orphanage, you know, normally most of them, they are being stigmatized. Because being at such environment, you know that you don't have a parent, you don't have a caregiver, no matter the amount of care that is being given to you. So long as the person giving you that care is not your biological father or mother, normally you will not feel the same like your mother who carried you for 9 months, giving you that same care. You understand?
Yeah.
Like for instance, normally you also have a kind of food that they feed in that orphanage. You realize that normally your food you eat in your house is somehow different. Yeah, your mom will take time to prepare your food and also give you, there is some motherly care, love that flows between mother and child or father and child, which will be absent no matter how the caregiver gives care to these orphans. So when all these elements are missing, this child normally will not be complete or to feel belong like any other parent who's any other orphan who is living in his house with the parents. Just like you are living in your house with your parents. You will not feel the same like that orphan who is in an orphanage. So that is a negative impact it has on orphans. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Delige, to get you correctly, we are mostly be talking about children in the orphanage. We know that not all orphans are in the orphanage. We have orphans that are with family relatives, like their mother's, their late mother's sister or their late father's brother. We have orphans like that. So, in case of these orphans, like that are living with their family relatives, how do you think the attitude of this relative will affect these children?
Alright, that's a very personal question, but I'll still take you back to what I just mentioned. Yes, I made mention of there's a bond between a mother and a father, a child and a father, all that kind of stuff. You realize even if it's your auntie, you're living in the house, not necessarily in the orphanage. When you are living with your mother or your aunt, your auntie or your uncle, who is not actually your biological, that's when I talk about biology, somebody who carried you and give birth to you. The love and affection that person have for you is different as compared to that which your mother will show to you. You realize we are in a society where there are some aunties and there are some uncles that they discriminate a lot. Yeah. So normally when you live in an environment or in a house where you find yourself with such an uncle or such an auntie, you are bound to feel stigmatized because they are going to discriminate, to treat their own children different as compared to the orphan. So this will result to stigmatization. It will make the child to feel as if he is not really part of the family, or he's not really that. That's it makes him to think more of the parents. Maybe they must have passed away, maybe through accident or whatsoever. It will like, hadn't been my mom was here, hadn't been my father was here. That emotion also kind of stuff will make the child to become more and more of a. That's how can I even put it. You realize that the child even will not feel this. So when you enter in a particular home, you will easily dictate such children, which is not good.
Okay, so Mr. Delegate, when we are talking about attitude, so I want the viewers to understand what kind of attitude these people show to the caregiver show to orphans that affect them, and how does it affect them? Is it morally, emotionally? How does it affect them?
Alright, Mr. and Mrs. Margaret, thank you very much for your wonderful question. When we talk about attitude also, it goes on the negative and the positive connotation. Negatively affect them. When we talk about, like I just mentioned, orphans that are they are living with their uncles and their aunties. They have the kind of attitude that they will show to them that will affect them on their day-to-day life. Firstly, we'll talk about the issue of education. We have some orphans that when they live with their uncles, when maybe their mother must have passed away, or maybe there are some children who are brought into the family out of wedlock, they don't know their parent, their biological father and stuff like that, or not only this particular topic is not limited only on orphans. They can still go a long way to talk about children that their father or their mother are irresponsible, cannot take care of them. So you realize that, okay, this aspect, you then see a situation whereby the parents they are living with send their own children to more expensive school, and they will send the other children to the less expensive. They don't even bother about their educational career. You understand? All they just know is that they are going to school. Like for instance, you might put your child in Sase. You know the school fees of Sase? Alright, okay. You will come, you look at the cheapest day-to-day or evening school, you send the orphan to go to that day-to-day school. Or when it comes to teaching, you realize that you pay a teacher to teach your child in the house on a day-to-day basis, but you don't care about the orphan. So how do you expect the orphan to feel when you portray that kind of attitude to the orphan?
Okay.
You realize that he feels more and more inferior in front of the other one, which is not good. So this is why it go a long way to affect them, because they cannot stand in front of maybe an authority or maybe a family member to even express themselves. They will be shy, they will feel inferior, and they will feel stigmatized.
Really, they were talking in a case where the mother and father of a child of 3 years old died, and they're in the village. And so I want to ask, do you think these relatives are to be educated on how to take care of this child? And how do you think they can be educated? What are the measures?
All right, Mr. Margaret, thank you very much for your personal question. Come to think of the question you just mentioned. You know, the activities of orphans, or the attitude of orphans, it will vary with regards to environment. An orphan in the village will not be treated the same like an orphan in urban areas.
Okay.
All right. You realize that in most villages, they pay or they respect or they feel pity and they treat orphans different in villages. But that's not the case when it comes to urban cities, because normally most, especially in villages, orphans live with their parents or their relatives. And those their relatives, they have their various cultures. You may see a culture whereby maybe when your father passes away, your uncle becomes your father.
Yeah.
Or your aunts take full responsibility. Normally they will treat you with regards to their culture, they will treat you like their own child. And you will not have that stigmatization thinking about whether your mom or your dad is missing or is dead. So you realize, but that is not the case when it comes to other cities like in urban town. That's why you realize that most especially they remove them from this place and take them to maybe orphanage, or in certain places where they will meet others. Meeting with others, it will not give them that impression that they are alone. It will give them the impression that there are other orphans out there that are the same like them. When you know that you are not the only case in a society, your way of thinking and your way of reasoning is different. Like thinking that you are the only one who are in that particular situation. You understand my point?
I understand.
Because normally the rate of orphans in villages is not as compared to that in urban cities. So that's why I can answer your question. Thank you very much.
Alright, you're welcome, Mr. Delegate. So I want to get Mr. Delegate, what's in case where I want to know how we can improve. Let's say we are to stop this one in a situation whereby these orphans become comfortable, be it in the village, be it in the urban area. So one case is where orphans being both in the village and urban area, they are fine. So that is why I was asking you, what are the measures? How do you think we can educate these caretakers on how to take care of orphans?
Well, come to think of it, there are many ways which can be implemented in order to make sure that orphans are not feel relegated or they don't feel stigmatized only. Firstly, we'll talk about caretakers who are in control of orphans. Should make sure when they are in their houses, like when they organize, they should organize family dinner. And when they organize a family dinner, they should call for everybody on the table and share everything equal. They should not make some other children in the house feel superior and others feel inferior. They should make everybody know when this person is wrong, they punish the person equally. And if at all this other child wrong this child, they should punish the child equally. They should not make something it should not be it should be of the same scale. You understand? They should not treat this person bad and they treat the other person good, even if the person is right or wrong. You understand with me? Also, we'll talk about with attitude towards orphans by caretakers. You can go a long way to also talk about organizing maybe training classes and all the like, educate them normally on their skills and the values, on how they are supposed to behave in the society, or how they are supposed to behave when they come in That's when they meet strangers and all that. Like, because you realize there are some orphans, when they come in contact with strangers in the house, they behave so inferior. They cannot stand in front of somebody to talk. But you realize that there are some other children that they can even come and stand in front of a visitor or whosoever. They are so bold. But why is that case? The case should not be done like that. You realize that all of them, they should be the same. And when you get into such environment, you cannot differentiate who is an orphan and who is not an orphan.
Okay.
If at all those measures are put in place. Thank you.
Alright, so we're going to go on another short break. When we come back, we're going to continue on our topic. Welcome back to African Life Plus TV show. Hope you'll be having a wonderful moment here with us. And I'm still your host, Npanjo Margaret Fembe, and we are still with Mr. Delegate of Emergence and Republican Youth of Cameroon. So, Mr. Delegate, we're still going back to you. I want to ask you, as an organization, how do you think the youth can assist in helping orphans and caretakers to build up a good relationship?
Thank you very much, Ms. Margaret, for this question. There are many ways in which a youth in this our contemporary society can participate or can assist the orphans. Firstly, they can assist through the creation of organizations, normally. Because when you create an organization, it's like a foundation. You create this foundation, you come up with a team, a team that can educate a particular set of children. When you are educating them, you are impacting on them a certain degree of knowledge and to make them, to instill in them some values that they will use them for posterity or for their day-to-day life and to become good citizens in the country. This could go a long way by organizing maybe computer classes to make sure that they have the computer skills, or you organize maybe even football matches, because children have diverse talent. Not everybody will be good in computer. You realize those that will be good in computer may not be good in football, or those that are good in football may not be good in comedy. Those that are good in comedy may not be good in music. So you have to realize that all these domains you have to touch it, so that make sure that those that are good, they find themselves in their respective domains. Okay. And this will help them to come up with something good, because the society is composed of such domains. Maybe music. You realize most of our youth today, they love music and they are into music. And some like comedy, they are into comedy and they entertain people. And when you grow up to become this youth that you entertain people, make people laugh, you don't think about all such things that are past. Okay. You have a different memory, and all that you do is to focus, to do more on the career that you have chosen to do. Maybe music, education, or empowering the life of others.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, Mr. Delegate, your organization, you guys are talking about emerging. So, I want to know, when do you think we're going to emerge? Is it tomorrow, 2035, like our president is saying? So, we want to know, how do you think we're going to emerge, and when are we going to emerge?
Wow, that's a beautiful question. When we're talking about emerging, it's a gradual process, not something that is sudden.
Okay.
It's a step-by-step process. Because normally when we look at the National Development Strategy put in place by the Ministry of Economic Planning and Regional Development, you realize that there is a step that all the mechanism that they have been put in place in order to realize this objective come 2035. Okay. So if at all we are working in our society today, we are working in consensus to this plan that have been put in place in order to make Cameroon, not only Cameroon, but the youth of Cameroon as well, to become emergent. So we have so many aspects, like you people, African Plus, like TV, is doing comedy, you understand? It promotes other talent. These are also the objective that they are working close, because the nation building is not interested in the hands of an individual. It's interested in the hands of the youth and the citizens of this country. And you can only make the country to become emergent by educating those youths so that they can come up with something productive that will change the nation and make it to become emergent. So through these activities that we do collectively, we might think that it's minimal, but you have a greater impact in years to come. that will contribute in what we are seeing today as emerging and Republican youth of Cameroon.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Dedige, because I, for one, I just thought, as I said, emerging were just emerging like 1 week to come. So thank you. Maybe other viewers all over around the world were also thinking the same thing with me.
No.
So I'm so happy you have thrown a light on this one. I'm so happy people have been educated through this talk. All right, Mr. Delegate, I'm going to ask my final question, and my final question is: you as an organization, you working with the youth, how do you think we can go, the government, because you now you are like a part of the government, can better help caregivers take care of orphan children? Because there are children that have opportunity to go to an orphanage, because we have areas that they don't have orphanages, and you have children that they are going to live with their relatives. So one, a situation whereby everybody is comfortable. Like for orphanages, we know that the government put eye on them. They cannot mistreat children. They are well educated. We are talking about people who are living with their relatives and they don't have this opportunity. What do you think your organization can do to better improve this situation?
Okay, that's a very personal question too. You know, bringing up or taking care of an orphan is not really just in the hands of the government. Also, individuals as well have a role to play. So individuals, they play their own role by opening orphanage, as well as the government through the Ministry of Social Welfare. They have their assistance that they give to these children. So normally, if at all we find children like this in our society, it's only to make sure and to educate their relatives, to make sure that they can obtain some grants from the social welfare in their respective areas, to make sure that these children, maybe they obtain maybe free education, or maybe there are some certain facilities that to them it should be given to them maybe free or at a lower, at a cheaper rate, without any discrimination, because they are somebody that they fall in a category of maybe the less privileges that need help, unlike what is going on orphanage and foundations, which is being created by other individuals who are not government.
Okay, Mr. Digige, sorry, but I'll cut you short a bit. So my interest now is, I'm not too focused on the orphan. I'm focused on those that are taking care of the orphans. Because whatever they show towards the orphan, they too are going to show it out there. So I'm talking based on the caretaker. How can we train them? Do you think we can train them by organizing workshops, invite people? Can we put on platforms, social media platform, which educate these people on how to take on this one? That is my question.
Firstly, to make sure that caretakers take good care of orphanage, normally they should be trained. There should be a workshop. Workshops should be organized to make sure that they are trained and make sure that they only have the knowledge on how to regulate the behavior of this category of children. Because these children normally they don't think the same like any other children. So normally there must be a therapy for them to follow, to make sure that they live happily. Because normally you have some caretakers that they will behave a type with this orphan sometimes. Because normally you cannot say that everybody is good. Absolutely.
Sure.
Yes. So but normally when they go through this particular training, you realize that their behavior towards these children will be different. And you realize even if they behave at time, when they come closer to these children, their behavior is going to change. And then make sure that they treat or they bring up these children in the way they are being taught in their workshop that are maybe organized by maybe other bigger organizations to make sure that they bring up these children well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you very much, Mr. Delegate, for your time. We'll be having a wonderful moment here with you. We hope you can come again to see us. Alright, thank you viewers. We are getting to the end. We are getting to the end of this show. We hope you have had a wonderful moment here with us. And we are so happy that you've been with us throughout this journey. And you can get to us. We want you to comment, like, and share. Please comment. We want to know your view, your take on what you think about the relationship between orphans and caregivers. You can get to us through any social media platform of your choice. You can get to us through our website, which is www.africanlifeplusTV.com. You can get to us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, any social media platform of your choice. Thank you. Till we meet again next episode.